Alright guys, so as you can see from the title of the video, this is going to be a pretty heavy topic. And trust me when I say I hate talking about this stuff, I really do. It makes me feel very uncomfortable, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing it. Because sometimes we just got to, step outside of ourselves and do what's best, or what, at least from my perception, of what I think is best. Because I think this can help some people, so yeah. So this topic has been a recurring theme lately due to some stuff, personal stuff going on, and some recent events. Two guys from the local footy club, Ferntree Gully Football Club, ended up committing suicide not too long ago. And, one of these guys I actually went to high school with. A lot of emotions come up when I see this kind of stuff. A lot of deep sadness and a lot of anger. Like, it pisses me off, to be frank. It's sad knowing that there are so many people out there in the world who get to a point in their life where they feel like they have no other option than to take their own life. They feel alone. They feel like they can't reach out to anybody. They feel like they're in this downward spiral that's never going to end. That this problem is going to be permanent. And that the only way out is, to take your own life. I've talked about this on my channel before, not much depth, but anyways, I went through a pretty heavy depression in high school, past high school, and it was so fucking tough because I also went through suicidal thoughts, I got to that place in my life where I hated life, right? I fucking despised this reality. I wanted outs. I was so fucking miserable and alone, and the worst part about it is that no one knew about this, right? I feel like I couldn't talk to anybody. I feel like I couldn't reach out and ask for help. And obviously millions of people around the world feel the same. But a lot of people aren't as lucky as I was, I got through it somehow. I was reading an article about, these two guys who committed suicide. And, it said that one Australian male commits suicide every 4 hours. Every 4 fucking hours. And that's only in Australia, and that's just males. God knows what the fucking numbers are worldwide. And, I was reading this article and it said that males are 3 times more likely to commit suicide than females. And it's not me making depression for females isn't as big of a problem as males. It's like, man, we're all human beings. It's just as bad as each other. But I want to talk about men's suicide in particular because, number one, I'm not surprised that, men are more likely to commit suicide than women. But two, I wanted to talk about this because of this. This is the part that pisses me off about this stuff that's happening, because we get sold this ideology, right, by the mainstream media about what a real man should be like. We get sold this synthetic masculinity crap, that to be a real man, you gotta hide your feelings. That a real man doesn't become vulnerable. That a real man just soldiers on and mans the fuck up and keeps going whilst just pushing all these issues below the surface. It's this bullshit attitude which is causing a lot of these suicides. Like, in high school, if you were to express your feelings or to become sensitive or to seek help, you would get shut down and bullied so much, brutally. You'd probably get beat up. At least this is based on my time in high school. I don't know how things have changed now. Obviously not much. This bullshit macho attitude is so toxic to our culture. And it's not what a real man is. Like, how the fuck did vulnerability become synonymous with weakness in the mainstream view? Vulnerability, it takes fucking balls to become vulnerable. It takes courage to express yourself and to seek help. Nothing about that is weak. Being weak is to continuously put this mask on and not talk about what's actually going on. Like, if you're hurting inside, if you're miserable, if you're struggling, if you're going through a depression, talk about it. Put this bullshit mask away. It's draining. Aren't you tired of that? It definitely was for me. It's like, I don't know how it is in other cultures, but I know in Australian culture, it's particularly more, I don't know, what do you call it? Like, it has this more macho, kind of blokey, manly kind of thing attached to it. You know, where a real man is like, drinks beer, holds their emotions down, like drives V8s and all this. I don't know, it's all bullshit, man. Some of you may think that I'm just stereotyping, but I'm not. I've met thousands of these people. This is just through my direct experience. Like, these people are fucking everywhere. And these are the type of people, and let me tell you from experience, who are the most miserable, right? Who are the most scared, who are the most anxious, who are the most depressed. Except that all this stuff is behind closed doors. That's the issue. And, you know, it doesn't help that there's this huge stigma attached to mental illness, where it's like, if you go to high school and you're depressed or you're anxious or you have an eating disorder or what have you, and people would know about it, you would most likely get shunned, and people would like kind of stay away from you, like, oh, look at that guy, and you get judged like heaps by most people. And you know, it's weird because it's like, why isn't it that when someone goes into school with a cast because they broke their arm, why don't they get shunned? Why don't they get like, ooh, that guy's weird, let's stay away from him? It's like, no, of course not. He has some physical distress that is eventually going to be healed. It's okay if you get the right treatment for it, i.e. a cast. You're not just going to leave your broken hand dangling and just go on your everyday life. Otherwise, your bone will never heal. It's almost the same thing with mental illness, except that instead of a physical distress, like a broken bone, you've got a fault in your operating system. You know, a bug that needs to get removed and fixed, and you need to reboot your whole system. But the reason why so many people never get cured from their mental illnesses is because they don't get the right treatment. And this is true with guys, because there are so many guys out there who are like clinically depressed, but who've actually never gone to the doctor and got, officially diagnosed, because they don't want to go outside their comfort zone and seek help, because they'll get perceived as weak, right? A real man doesn't get depressed. A real man soldiers on and keeps going and buries that shit deep within. And so what happens? A lot of people just never get the treatment that they need so they can finally overcome this illness. And then on top of this, even when you finally have the courage to go seek help, to go to a doctor or something like that, and tell them, hey, I'm depressed, I'm not feeling good. What do? They give you fucking pain-numbing medication that does what? Temporarily numbs you? Tells you that you have to take these drugs for the rest of your life? That's the solution Western culture has for us? No wonder so many of us are so fucking depressed, man. And, I mean, you look this up, and you'll find that depression is the highest it's ever been in recorded history. In recorded history. And those numbers are not slowing down. That's the scariest part. Because our number one solution for depression is what? Antidepressants? How is it that the rates of suicides and depression are the highest it's ever been, and the prescriptions of antidepressants are also the highest they've ever been? So it's like, obviously something's not working here, because antidepressants is like putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound. And I'm not making this video to like give you solutions of how to cure your depression, because it's different for everybody, and you know, it's going to be another video for another day. But I just do want to let you guys know who are suffering from a hardcore depression, or if you're going through suicidal thoughts or anything like that, that just know that you're not alone. Yeah, you're not alone, and you can seek help, and it's not as hard as your mind makes it out to be, because you know, our ego loves to over amplify this problem, and it loves to convince you that you're trapped, right? Because it doesn't want your paradigm to be shifted in any way, shape, or form, right? Your ego doesn't want you to not be depressed. It wants you to stay exactly the way you are. You're not your depression, and there is a way out. And there's a lot of help that you can get. You know, whether it's from going on hotlines to talk to somebody, because I know that some of you don't want to reach out to your friends and family, and I dig that, you know, I get it. But just the act of stepping outside your comfort zone and just talking to somebody, just that act alone can be of monumental help, right? I think it's really important to really change your environment when you're stuck in that state, because it's like a loop, yeah? It's a cycle that just never seems to stop. And sometimes you need to break your pattern, right? By changing your environment. That could also help too. We're very good at putting on this mask and pretending like everything's fine and dandy, but it's not, you know, sometimes it's really not. And the people who do end up committing suicide are usually the people who you least expect. And pretty safe to say, most of you probably know at least one person who has committed suicide, and you probably didn't expect it. You never know who's going through a really tough fucking time behind the scenes. This is why it's really important to never judge a book by its cover, and why it's always important to be kind to everybody that you meet, because you just don't know. And you being kind, or you smiling even to a stranger, could literally save a life. And you know, if you're going through like a depression, just the mere act of you becoming vulnerable and seeking help could save a life. Because, hey, who knows? You could have someone in your friends group who could actually be going through like these suicidal tendencies, and because they saw you become vulnerable and seek help, that inspired them. It's like, I'm not alone. Bang, someone else comes out of it. And then it just sets this chain reaction. So becoming vulnerable is extremely, extremely important, especially for inspiring others around you to do the same, which can potentially save lives. And also to be kind to everybody, right? Even if they're a prick, because you don't know, man. You just never know. But yeah, guys, I'm going to end it at that. I'm sorry that I'm like pretty down in this video and stuff. I've just been going through a lot of personal stuff. You know, like my dog's got cancer. And it's like, you know, my first dog's like my best friend, you know, so yeah, see how that goes. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about it because I'm seriously gonna bawl my eyes out. It's fucking, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna end it at that, guys. So yeah. Hey guys, just wanted to make a bit of an update for Sapphire over here. So she had her first surgery yesterday. She got desexed. And she had like these huge ovaries, and it was like pretty full on surgery. But she made through it okay. She's like a strong warrior dog, aren't ya? So yeah, she's just got 2 more surgeries to go. So they're going to be the actual removal of these tumors over here. So yeah, just wanted to give an update. I know I was like a bit down, you know, in this video, because I was just like so stressed out. It was like pretty full on. Yeah, that's really it. So I'm feeling a bit more optimistic now, because she pulled through all right. And I know it's only 1 out of 3 surgeries, but it's something, you know. So yeah, hopefully she pulls through okay. Sending her all the good vibes. Hope she recovers well. And yeah, second surgery will be in a couple of weeks. So you guys know. That's it. All right. Have a good one, guys. Peace.